So, well, I'm always excited, but like I'm really excited. I want to share my screen with you because tonight we have legends, the legends of this industry, at least for Anthony and I. Now, I found out, you have to understand this. Anthony is, I'm mama, and I realized Anthony had been in this business. What did we figure out? 5 years longer than I have?
Yes.
Right. But, whoops, wrong person. Though we still love him. Richard Hawkins, we love you, babe. But, let's see, let me go backwards. Previous. Suzanne and Bill Sailing. Susan. I'm working on it, Bill. Correct me until I get it right, which you are. So I want to show you these pictures here because they don't realize something. They are kind of like, well, they're my heroes. They don't know this, but they received an award, a very special award from Limu when I first joined. And it was the Robert Bob Wilson Award. Now, this is what it's for. Presented to Bill and Susan Sailing. This award is dedicated to the memory of Bob Wilson, a man whose undeniable leadership was demonstrated best through his kind and gentle yet tenacious spirit. Now, that's the word I want you to think of when you think of Susan and Bill. Tenacious. I love that word. It's one of my favorite words. And their unwavering loyalty to the Limu mission. We proudly recognize your unparalleled integrity, character, and dedication, comparable to that of the legendary ambassador whose example you follow. Now, we are also actually, you and Anthony and both of you and Anthony and I, we all share in the Pounding the Rock Award. But what you don't, I don't think you remember this. When I first came, and it was my first event, and we had qualified for a car, and I was so excited because who knew that you could, in 4 months, you could just get healthy and make money and get a free BMW. I was so excited, but I didn't know anything or anyone. And we were at the convention center. It's all over. You had your great big award. You were like the stars of the evening. And I went up and said hello to you. And you sat down and you both took the time to welcome me and to explain to me what it took to be successful in this business. And you had friends there. You were talking to friends, but you stopped, you came over and you sat down and you imparted wisdom. And you will never know how much that has always meant to me. Now you're going to give me tears here. And that to me exemplifies what this business is about. And so to me, you are heroes in this business. What do you say, Anthony?
Absolutely, absolutely. They have had one of the biggest hearts and the most kindest people. Since they've been knowing me since I was just a kid. I was still a kid, you guys. I was a kid coming into this industry, and they always had words of wisdom. They would always have a smile on their face. They were always showing up. That if you want to take something, this call is Superstars of Business. If you want to take something I took from Bill and Miss Susan is they show up. When there was
all the time.
They was there. When there was a phone call, they were on it. They just made time and they treated this like $1 million business, and that's why they have been legends in this industry. And I'm just so thankful for all them, my friends. They're like mentors to me, and they're just awesome. I love them to death.
You two are so humble. I do not think you understand. You're going to, I don't think you understand the impact you have on the rest of us. Oh, we can't hear you. Let's unmute you.
Okay. I'm kind of speechless at this point. Such kind words, and it just, we were always treated that way, and I always felt like it was important. I never thought about it as going out of our way or anything. That's just what you should do. That's just what you should do when people are new to the business or they've received an award for work they've done. That's just what you do. So you're kind. You're very kind.
When we first looked at this industry, one of the things that attracted us to it was the fact that you could not be successful unless you helped other people. And I was looking at retirement from public education, and I came home to Susan. I said, a teacher came to me today and presented me with something I think we ought to take a look at. And that was the primary interest in the beginning, was helping people along the way. And that not only included brand new people introduced to the opportunity, but people like yourself. Remember Brent's first event. I remember meeting him. Anthony and I share, I don't know if he even knows, I ran track in college too, but a long time before he did. And I ran the distance while he was a speed guy. But when you meet people and you make them feel a part of what's going on, it really helps everyone in dealing with the emotions they're going to deal with throughout their experience.
You have been through the ups, the downs. You have been through, as Anthony said, we can always count on you. No matter what's going on, you are always there, and you're always encouraging. And you have one of the first recipients of the Pounding the Rock Award. Can you explain what that means to those who are from Noni, those who are from RX and some of the other brands? They did not have the blessing of the mentorship that we had with yes, with Gary Racer. I mean, Gary was and is and still is. I mean, I still get little, you still get little things. And I'm not even one of the tops, but he imparted a lot of wisdom, and that award in itself was wisdom. Could you explain that?
Well, the way I always interpreted that award was you have a lot of people in network marketing companies, and not everyone's top earner. Some people struggle with it, but there are those who continue on for whatever reason. There's something driven in them. They see the full vision like we did. We know that if we just keep working, that we'll get to what we want. We know that if we stop, we will fail. That's the only way that we fail, is if we just stop and continue and don't continue on. So I always looked at that award as an award for those, whether they were top earners or not, but had continued on through all the hard times, through changes in, maybe comp plans or changes in products, during the times when it was so, the economy wasn't good and it was just so slow at times. There are some people who will just stick it out. And for us, it was just a given. We're just not quitters. We're just not. And we saw Gary was so great at painting the vision. we just knew, as we still know, that if we just stick with it, good things will happen to us. And at the same time, we're helping other people who are struggling in life bring goodness into their life too.
Can you explain the training of priming the pump? Because I think you exemplify that training.
Well, it simply means that for us, again, for me, it means you just have to continue to work. You have to continue to talk to people every day and share with people every day. And there's different words for it, putting people in the pipeline. Because what happens, and I've seen it happen so many times, is somebody will come in and they'll talk to 5 or 10 people, and nothing happens out of that, and they just kind of dwindle back, and then maybe they only talk to 1 or 2, and then maybe they take a week off and don't talk to anybody, and it's like, well, I can't find anybody to talk to, or everybody I talk to is they don't want to listen to me. And so priming the pump for me is you just keep that flow going into the people you talk to, your pipeline. So eventually what happens is the constant flow of new people needing different things out of their lives. And those are the ones that you can then they start kind of coming to, going, oh, I like what you have. I like it a lot. Tell me more. And so then you're not, you're not freaked out when you have a time period where nothing's going on, because you've got enough people that are coming in that you're showing information to, that there's always somebody over here that needs a little bit more information, or different ways you can show them. So that's what priming the pump represents to me.
Yeah, it was shown to us from a stage a couple of different times where a water pump
Literally, yeah.
was brought in, and in
Yeah.
the old days before automatic water and all the homes and everything, you pumped the water from a cistern or a well, and you used it in a bucket for whatever your household needs were. And so that pumping and putting water in there that primed it, that caused the vacuum for the water to come up, that's what we're talking about, and that's what she's talking about, that pumping, that priming of the water to get a flow. That's what it is. You keep talking with people, you keep working until you get a flow, and that's priming the pump.
So there may not be, in the beginning, there may be a period of time where you seem to be talking to a lot of people and nothing's developing. And I think especially new people get real discouraged with that. So you just keep pumping.
So were you with Gary you were with Gary in the very beginning, right?
Right.
When there was no product.
Correct. Yes, that's
Now,
true.
okay, so now we keep telling you that, this is the best time to join, and this is it. It's the time. Things are coming, and people are going like, well, it's not July yet. It's not June yet. What else is coming? What else is coming? Okay, so you started this business. I want everybody to get a picture of what a visionary is, because Susan and Bill are visionaries. They started this business when there was no product, there was no structure. What is it? What did Gary say? He just called up people and said, I'm starting a company and I want you to join me.
Pretty much. What I mean, the nitty gritty of it was that we had been in one company, and they didn't manage that company well. And Gary had also been a part of that company. And Gary had a good relationship with the vendors. He had a good relationship with the members of the company, the field leaders. And really at that time, we didn't know Gary as well as we got to know him later on. But Gary decided, no, I'm taking, there's too many people that were depending on those paychecks. There was too many people that were depending on that vision. And so the vendor said, hey, we'll work with you. We'll do something. And they came up with something. And we were in living rooms with handwritten applications that we were faxing them in to someplace, and they were getting there, and with credit card information on it, with the promise, until we have a product and products, that your credit card won't be
Won't be used.
And so there was just, it was Gary's vision that he had painted before and painted for this. This is where we're going. It was people's respect for him and their trust in him. And by gosh, I mean, there was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications faxed in on any kind of paper we could find. Wasn't even an application per se. And not knowing that, well, we had good products before, we'll have good products again.
In this corner of the state where we touch Kansas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Missouri, and there was one, we were the ones that often were the ones who sent in the names to Gary. And I remember one day sending 750 names in one day. So that's the kind of thing it was, but we had no product, really had no office. It took 5 weeks to get everything together. But once it happened, it's kind of reminiscent of what you're doing in South Africa today, except you had product. Then we had a promise of product.
See, Nigeria has no products. Same thing.
We're building in Nigeria. We spent the entire, Susan did the entire day today working with that venture. But it's kind of like that, where you're pointing down the road of what possibilities are, what will be in our minds, what will be, and the people. It's just a matter of keeping it in people's minds. This is what we offer you, and if you can hang on and listen, if you can watch and do and use the tools, you can change your life.
And it was all about vision, and as it always is, it's about relationships. They've got to have a reason to trust you, no matter if whether it was back then when we were starting this company, or Limu, or now where we're working with people from Nigeria. There's got to be relationships built, and there's got to be trust, and there's got to be a vision painted for them.
You know what I love about this business, and particularly our business, is that we work as a team. So we are not on the same pay line, but I have several of your team members who will call in and say, hey, Mama Eava, can you help me with this? Can you help me? Because we know that no matter what happens, we take care of each other. And how is that, would you say that is common in this industry?
I would say, from talking to people over the years who, some would gotten into the company that came from other companies, absolutely not. It's not common. And that's one of the things that really drew me to Limu, was that, people helping people. And then of course now with the merger with New Age, I've just been blown away with the reception we got when we merged with RX, and those people were just, I mean, they were contacting us. They find out who you were, and it was, is there anything I can do to help you? And it seems like, I swear that the stars and the moon and the planets must have lined up for this whole thing, because everyone, all the leaders, there's such good leaders. Eava, you're such a good leader. Anthony, but you've got certain talents that you're willing to share with other people. And that doesn't seem to be the egos. I just don't see the egos there. It's just like everybody comes together because they know what the big picture is going to look like. They know, they see the vision, they see where we're going. And so I think the lines are even more blurred now than they used to be, as far as lines and teams. And I love it.
I think the main thing is that folks are centered in on the fact that we can't be successful. Anthony, you can't be successful if there's not money there to send you a check from. And that is because the company itself is solvent. And because this company provides such a solvent atmosphere that we can all depend upon each other, because we are all a part of one company. And if that company survives, so shall we.
I liked how you said there were people depending on those paychecks. I think a lot of people do not realize that like you said, this is, some people sometimes say, well, this is plan B. But for many people, people who are of retirement age, like, we should be skating into retirement, getting on that horse and riding into the sunset. And here we are, up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, calling Nigeria, talking, going to, Mexico, Canada. And I've never been so excited in my life. But the issue is there are people depending on a paycheck. And I don't think you have ever lost sight of that.
No, if you, let's say, Ava, you take somebody like yourself or like Anthony or Brent, take away their check. And how is your life different? Now you look at somebody who, say in Nigeria, that if you gave one of your checks for a year, would change their life. If you take somebody from any state or any country we're dealing in, and you look at the economy and you add a few extra shekels to their income, you can change what they're able to do with their whole family.
Now, I used to say that one of the things I like about this, and one of the things I love about the two of you, is there are a lot of people who are like, let's hype, let's hype, let's hype. You're going to get rich quick. What would you say to somebody who says, well, this is just, I want it and I want it now?
And that's probably wouldn't be for you.
And we have said that many times.
And that's another thing I like about the leaders, I like about the corporate leaders, is they tell it like it is. Because it people come, I don't know why it is that so many people come to network marketing companies and they think it's different from a business or the job. You still have to work, and you have to work hard. And sometimes you think, I'm working, when you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I lost my whole train of thought.
Well, this is just the living, we call this our living room.
We tell people that, this isn't a get rich quick. And if you follow the process, and we're always there to help you, and that's different than your plan A job, and it's different than a lot of other companies that will help you through this. And if you'll follow the process we give you, and if you go to the Zooms and you listen to the Avas and the Brents and those kind of things, you'll learn how to do it. And people will literally take you by the hand and help you along. But it's not always easy. And we've heard that before. It can be simple, but it's not always easy. But is it any better to work 40 years in a job and retire and not really have anything at all? I don't think so. And a lot of people do that. Or they come to the point where they want to retire and they can't even retire because they realize they don't have enough savings, they don't have enough put back, and Social Security is not going to take care of them. There's no pension.
When we first started with Lima, all we talked about was baby boomers. And for 7 or 8, no, not longer than 8 or 9 years, until Gary realized that we need to be talking with people Anthony's age. We need to be talking to young people and not necessarily have a company of people with gray hair, or that should be gray.
Okay, this is my hair color.
That's when Blue Frog came along. But that was an eye opener for me, that somebody would go to that extent to add to the opportunity because they wanted to get another age group in there. So then I got to thinking about, people like Anthony, why do we have to wait until we're retirement age like I was before we start looking for an opportunity to add to our income and something to leave to our progeny? I think that this is a time to share with almost anyone who's willing to put some time in. But that's the point, Eva, that you've been talking about, is people have to be willing to work toward the goals they set. And those goals are based upon their own personal why. Why am I doing this? And if it isn't worth it to them to put that kind of effort in, then it isn't worth it for them to get started. It isn't worth it to you to devote the kind of effort it will take to train them to be successful. It just isn't. People can be customers, people can do those kind of things, but if they want to make an income, if they want to be a plan B, or if they want to be a plan A, they've got to put some effort in.
So what is your why now the same as it was when you started?
My belief is that the why never changes, but the story does. And we used to do the Saturday morning call until they created the academy. So at 13 years, we spent our Saturday mornings on the phone.
Zoom.
And then when the Zoom started and things like that made it antiquated. So, but up for that period of time, we every Saturday morning we were doing the call, and I think part of that whole effort is to share with people what we do. What, you want to add to that?
Okay.
Anthony, do you have any input here? You're being awfully quiet.
Well, one of the things that Bill hit on that I love, that I did realize in this industry, if you never do recruit somebody around my age or younger, then how do you expect the longevity of your business to leave that residual income to the people behind you? Because guess what? If you recruit all people that are older, well, if God calls y'all home all around the same time, then what happens? You know, so you don't have the true long-term residual income. So I love the aspect of how you always just share with everybody. There's nobody. I always tell people everybody gets to share, and we just let educated people make an educated decision, regardless of how educated you are, how old you've been on this earth. But if you're willing to listen, and hey, we're going to share with you. And that was something I've learned from Bill and Susan a long time ago. They were like you said, for 13 years straight, you guys, they did a Saturday morning call. If you didn't write that down, and you want to talk about consistency, you want to talk about leaving a legacy for the people behind you, 13 years. And some of us won't even try but 3 months. Some of us won't even give it 3 weeks. And but you know, and that's something that I took from them. And hey, for years, I've been plugged in. I've never missed an event, regardless of what happens in my life. My uncle passed away earlier today, and I'm still on this call. See,
Anthony.
you just show up, because there's somebody out there who needs to hear your voice. And regardless of what you're going through in your life, trust me, somebody is out there looking for you. So you just got to keep going, you guys. Life is going to happen, you guys. You just got to show up. And that's one thing I love about Bill and Susan. They show up, and I love them dearly for all the things that I've learned from y'all, continue to learn from y'all.
And I will say, especially in this time we're going through, we've gone through a pandemic and the world's kind of a mess right now. When we tell our story, I guess, we talked about, we'd gotten to a point where we lost our hopes and dreams. We stopped dreaming. And I think there's a whole lot of people out there who have stopped dreaming. I think they're just lost. They don't know what to do. They don't, they don't have their jobs, or they don't have the jobs they want. They're fearful. They'd like something else, but you know what? There are still a whole lot of people out there that really don't understand this industry. And we need to educate them on it. We need to at least give them the options that, hey, you can do this, no matter what age you are. Because I think someone has said it on another Zoom that, we're not trying to get people to leave their jobs. We're giving them the option so they can do what they love. Like my son's in radio, but there's definitely a cap on what he earns. And so this was appealing to him because then he can make extra money coming in, do the things he wants in life, and still do the things he loves. So that's why I think it's so important. I'm sorry.
Oh, please, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, it's okay.
This is, okay, so this is one of those calls. I mean, we've had tears already, tears at the beginning, tears with Anthony. Hope. Anthony had, his father passed a couple of months ago. His uncle just passed. Our daughter passed. My husband had a heart attack. But here I am in the middle of a hotel, in the middle of a hospital room. And, I'm just sitting there waiting. And it's like, I had people from all around the world texting saying, we're praying for you. We're there for you. The hope, the family, the relationships this has brought to our lives is priceless. You can't put a paycheck on it. You can't put anything on it. All I can say is, if you're wondering whether this is for you or not, this is the most amazing group of people, human beings that I have ever had. I'm just so thankful I thank God every day for bringing us into not only this industry, but this organization. And somebody asked me the other day, how did you get through this time? And I said, well, the people that were there for me were many of the people that are on this call, the people that were in this business, the people that gave me hope when I had no hope. And Susan and Bill, you have no idea what you have done for many of us on this call.
Well, thank you very much.
Please.
We all deserve a little bit of hope in our life. And we really didn't realize that we were just at a point of just surviving until we actually got involved with a group of like-minded people. And it really adds to the strength of everyone involved when you find other people who have the same ideas and goals as you do.
Well, to me, I tell people this is about changing a nation. It's about changing a generation. It's about bringing hope.
Yep.
So if you are on this call tonight, you are blessed because we have our very special guest. But whoever invited you on this call invited you because they believe in you and they have hope not only for themselves, but for you. And so whether you're coming into this just saying, hey, like when I started, we had a health journey, or whether you're coming in saying, I have a financial need, or whether you're coming in and saying, I just need to walk out of the darkness. We invite you to join us. Get back to the person who invited you. You're welcome to check with any of us because we take care of each other. And believe me, if you call one of us, the first thing we're going to ask you is, who invited you? Because we take care of each other. So we would love to have you be a part of our family. So let's unmute the lines. And